What's up, everybody? How are you? Welcome to 2026, officially the first vlog of the year. It's exciting. Great to be here. If you look outside, it's pretty much exactly as we left it in 2025. Haven't seen the sun probably since 2013, it feels like at this point. But hey, dog days of the winter. We're excited to be back. But, I figured I'd kind of start this episode off and tell you guys a little bit about how I kind of reset and recharge being a busy CEO, busy agent, and an entrepreneur, and then how I kind of reset and reactivate myself to kind of get into this position to here where we are and, chasing new goals, chasing new dreams, right? So, obviously extremely busy year, burnt the candle from both edges, as everybody kind of says. And, in this business, in a very reactive business, it kind of always feels like that. So I'm very, very aware of seasonality, right, guys? That's one thing I think about is I should be working when my clients are out there and my clients are available and what they're doing. The one thing that I've found over my years is that a lot of my clientele during that Christmas time, during the New Year's time, they do kind of slow down a little bit. And that really, for me, makes the time to build attention and attraction with them, right? So this is during that time. It's not like I'm off, but what I'm really doing is I'm leaning into my people, not only from my clients, but also my employees, my agents, everybody across my world, just to let them know, at the end of the year, hey, I'm proud of them. I'm happy with everything they did. And I'm here to back them up and help them get to their goals to next year. But also on top of that, you hear me talk a lot about other people here, right? The one thing that I think we need to remember is that as leaders, as entrepreneurs, we always need to focus on ourselves. So those 2 weeks for me in between that Christmas and New Year's was a lot of resetting. And what I mean by that is just thinking, just resetting, evaluating. I spent time going through my calendar and all my pictures, from the whole entire year, just putting myself back into those moments and just thinking, how did I feel at that moment? What did my business look like? What did my relationships look like? What did I look like, right? Was I the highest and best version of myself, or was I in a bad spot or down, or what led me to that position, right? So I think that reflection part while you're trying to reset is really, really important. And here we are now, almost what I like to call the reaction time, right? We've learned, we've processed, we've planned. Now it's time to go put that work into effect, right? So that's the biggest thing that I'm focused on today. This week, kind of coming back, everybody's got a lot of energy and a lot of environment. There's a ton of motivation out there. But the one thing that we know is motivation fades, right? So for me, what I've been really preaching and focusing on this week with my agents is just getting them back in the process, focusing on their small habits, tracking small daily wins every day, just to get them back into the energy and get them back into the motions of, this business and this life. So right now, like I said, we're in the reaction time right now. So we're kind of cleaning up a lot of things, tightening up a lot of things, and, getting ready to, make 2026 the best year yet. So you guys are going to come along for me on a, first week back here of the office and, kind of getting everything kicked off. We got a bunch of meetings lined up. And then one thing I want to do that I think will be really valuable is I want to do an agent, we'll do a whiteboard session. The whiteboard session is going to be about evaluating your pipeline. How can you as an agent come in the beginning of the year, understand what you may have pending already or what leads you may have, and how is that going to dictate the success throughout the end of the year? Laying out your pipeline, we just talked about seasonality. That stuff's really, really important. So I think this is going to be a really impactful whiteboard session that I know will help you grow your business this year. So stay tuned. Come along for a journey. 2026. Let's make it the best one yet. All right, everybody, been a busy day, but as promised, told you we'd wrap up here talking about the 2026 pipeline and how I work with my agents to really track their pipeline, understand their pipeline, but also use their pipeline to predict their income or predict their goals. Remember, your pipeline equals predictability. Your predictability and your pipeline are going to ultimately also mean what's your profit. So the number one thing that we need to think about when we're thinking of our 2026 pipeline is the number one goal, GCI, right? What is our GCI goal? The number one thing you need to think about is how much money do you want to make? right? Then you need to go back, and whether you're a new agent or you're a seasoned agent, need to understand one thing from the following year: your average sales price. So if you're a new agent, what I would suggest is look in the market you're going to sell. Are you selling in the city of Philadelphia? Average purchase price of about $300,000, average or median. So then use that number. I'm going to do $300,000 as an average sales price. $300,000 times your negotiated commission rate in that area equals X, and that's how much you're going to make per deal, right? So you need to understand your GCI goal, take that into your average purchase price to get your average commission, and ultimately create your units goal. When you have your units goal, then all you're really doing is you're looking at the calendar, right? You have to look at the calendar and understand it from top to bottom of how many units you're going to do in each month and when you're going to do it, right? So January, Feb, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December, right? You have basically 12 months of production, 12 months of productivity to actually lean into here. So let's just use, for giggles and round number purposes, let's just say our average units are 24, right? So that's the number, the unit number, or the goal that you're going after. Every agent would typically say, well, that's simple, Jim. My goal is 2 a month, which means I have to do 1 every 2 weeks. I got it. You're right, but you're wrong. Because the fact is that's not how your business nor any business is going to go. It's not going to go slated completely as planned, right? We have to also remember seasonality. Seasonality is so important, and it's very important here, obviously in the Northeast Mid-Atlantic region, because we have all different seasons. We have 4 seasons a year, weather changes, things like that. Typically in our December months, the markets are a little bit slower. Sun goes down at 4 o'clock. It could be 12 degrees and it's snowing like crazy outside. Who wants to go see a house like that, right? But in the summer, we also have the beach towns. Our shore points are very, very close. So it's a very touristy attraction. So on weekends in other markets, that's the busiest time. During the summers for us, it's our slowest time, right? So you have to take that into consideration. So if I were to come in and say, hey, I'm going to put 2 deals under contract, in August, which is typically our slowest point, I may think that you're setting yourself up for failure, right? So what we need to understand is understand the seasonality, understand how many units, and then also understand how you're going to operate and act within that, right? So when you're looking at your full month, you're going to understand and then understand what your unit goal is. Guys, it's very, very simple. A big goal of mine for 2026 is to simplify everything and to break things down into small habits or small goals that are attainable and achievable. We typically, as agents and entrepreneurs, we like to overwhelm ourselves and think of these big, hairy numbers. I want to make $1 million in GCI or $500,000 in GCI. Fact of the matter is, let's take it to today. Let's take it to this week. Let's take it to this month. What do we have to do in that period to slow things down to get ourselves to that year-end goal? Because the fact is when you look at that number, it's really, really, really big. But when you enter January and you realize it's only 1.5 units, because of how it breaks down off your seasonality, it's a lot more attainable, it's a lot more attractable for you, and it's a lot more easier to go grab. It's attainable, it's something that's a lot more physical. So take that pipeline and simplify it down. Now, what I want to talk about now is how to think about your buyers and sellers inside your pipeline. So what is a sales pipeline, right? That is truthfully exactly like it sounds like. They're your hottest leads. They're not cold, they're not warm. These are your hot, top prioritized 8 buyers. I always like to use a ranking system on my buyers. 10 meaning, hey, these people are hot. They are ready to go. If we find them a house tonight, they're writing an offer. 9, these people are somebody that should transact within the next 30 some days, right? Somebody that's out actively looking, searching, but that is what I would consider a 9. So a 10 would be, hey, if we find a house tomorrow, I'm selling it. A 9 would be, hey, we're out searching, but it's a little bit slow. We'd probably find something in 30 days. An 8 to me would be 60 days. A 7 to me would be 90 days, so on and so forth. I don't really track anybody after 5 because your pipeline should at that point be too big. We should only really be working with people that are transacting pretty much within the next 90 days. Typically your buyers, if you have buyers that want to go out and see houses and buy in the summer, you're not going to bring them out in January. Why? The houses are going to be gone. The inventory is going to have turned over, right? So you can't sell that person until that point. But then what that allows you to do is if you have your pipeline of your list of your prioritize buyers, you can look and say, hey, I know Bill and Stacy are going to purchase, and their date that they're aiming to be moved in by is August. So now I can take them and slot them into that pipeline report, right? So that helps you now look at the beginning of the year, look at your buyer and seller pipeline, look at your calendar month, and then really start to begin to mix and match where transactions are going to fall. What you're going to start seeing is you're going to see gaps. And what do you see and what do you do with gaps? We fill them with new opportunities. So that's what we're lead generating for, is the things to find and fill the gaps within your business. Because ultimately, your center of influence, your SOI, your COI, they've already been established and they're already there sitting. Where the growth is going to come from is from everything above that point. So it's going to be from us going out and filling and putting in the pieces within that pipeline. If you look at your pipeline weekly and consistently update it, what you will find is you'll be very protective of it, meaning you won't let people pop into that pipeline that aren't as hot or as real of a client than somebody else would be, right? You protect it, meaning you get people to transact at it a lot quicker. You actually use this system and use this model to proactively sell rather than sitting back and waiting to be reactive or waiting for your clients to reach out to you and bring you opportunities and things like that. So understanding a pipeline, understanding your buyers and your sellers, but also understanding the seasonality within your market is going to be one of those little tricks and tips that's going to help you approach this year, but approach it with a humble factor and also being grateful for the opportunity, because it's month 1 of 12. You got a lot of opportunity and a lot of time to get things done. So let's simplify things. Let's break things down. Let's understand it. Let's make it attainable. And then let's go make it reachable. So if you found this interesting, or you want to talk a little bit more about pipelines or how we work with our agents' pipelines, here at Rarity, reach out to me. We'd love to catch up with you and talk to you a little bit more. We'll catch up soon. See you next week.